Good morning. Are you Janetta Pugh?
I'm the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the what?
I'm the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the beneficiary of what estate? Answer my questions, please, ma'am. I'm just trying to understand.
Beneficiary of that estate.
Okay.
Judge All Right buckle up from the moment she walks in its sovereign citizen, mode activated Janetta, is not just here for court, she's here to challenge the very concept of it forget law. An order she wants trust law fake attorneys and courtroom chaos. And we're only 20 seconds in, is this a courtroom hearing or a sovereign?
Her family has retained an attorney on this matter. You may, I don't know if you remember, just when I was originally appointed on and we were on the trial docket, she hired a new attorney at that point. Mr. Norwood was on the case for a while and then withdrew. And once recently, when the case came back to me, I visited her and I was told that they did retain another attorney. I was given a name of Christopher Wiley this morning, but I have not heard from him. And my understanding is that at this point still hasn't filed anything with the court.
Okay.
But I've been told that that's who's supposed to be taking over the case.
Okay.
For the record, I recognize Ms. Q. She's been here before.
I do as well, for the record.
And I looked into Mr. Christopher Wiley. I can't find that person as practicing.
Classic sovereign chaos incoming. I have an attorney, Your Honor, somewhere out there in the void. First it was one guy, then he quit. Now there's a mystery man named Christopher Ree, who's supposed to take over, except surprise, he doesn't exist in the state bar directory. The judge is trying to move the case forward. But it's like chasing a ghost through legal quicksand. Janetta's legal defense is turning into a scavenger hunt with no clues. This isn't strategy, it's a Scooby-Doo episode in a courtroom robe. How you going to fight the system when you can't even name your lawyer? And I've...
All right. So, Ms. Pugh, Mr. Lewis has been appointed to represent you at this point. Obviously, you know as well as anyone that you're in custody and we want to get your case taken care of. If you've hired or your family has hired another lawyer, then they have to contact the court so that we can do something with your case. And do you know if they've hired someone?
Respectfully, Your Honor, I do not agree with your appointed foreign agents, considering that the first duty is to the state and will be considered conflict of interest.
Okay, so if you don't want, the only thing I can do, I'm appointing an attorney to you to help you, right? So if you don't want a court-appointed attorney, then your only option, two things. One is to represent yourself or to hire a lawyer. So if you don't like the way it works, then you do something different. So are you, listen to what I'm saying. Are you either going to represent yourself or are you going to let Mr. Lewis represent you or are you going to hire someone?
Objection, Your Honor. Respectfully, is this a court of record?
It is a court of record. So your objection's overruled.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, where is the verified claim?
That is being here we go. Janetta hits the gas and drives straight into the sovereign citizen twilight zone. She rejects the court-appointed lawyer, not because of a conflict of facts, but because she calls them foreign agents. She claims any representation from the state is a betrayal. She's not rejecting help, she's rejecting reality. And when the judge tries to give her options, she objects to existence itself. This isn't legal strategy, it's a courtroom protest wrapped in a conspiracy YouTube tutorial. Lady, if everyone's fake, does...
It's right here. It's called an indictment. And Mr. Lewis has a copy of it and he can show it to you. So that would be the verified claim against you.
Okay. Your Honor, respectfully, Your Honor, there were writs that was filed to the case that still haven't been received.
I've received your petition for writ of habeas corpus and it's denied.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, I demand to be released due to lack of evidence of stated claim and not being given the proper opportunity to obtain proper counsel to effective defense.
It's overruled.
Okay.
You're running out, aren't you?
No, it's fine.
So here's the thing, Miss Pugh.
Meta demands a verified claim against her trust, like she's filing taxes on a fictional planet. The judge delivers the truth with zero fluff. It's right here, it's called an indictment. But that doesn't stop her. She petitions for habeas corpus, demands release, interrupts every sentence, and thinks saying respectfully gives her immunity from courtroom rules. Here's a reality. Check if you keep yelling respectfully. While cutting off a judge, you're not respectful, you're just loud. And wrong, you can't object your way out.
Because you say respectfully does not mean that you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful, right? Hang on. Listen to me. Everything you have there is overruled. And here's one of the reasons why. Is because you have a lawyer. And your lawyer will file the appropriate motion. You're interrupting me again, which is disrespectful. So I'm going to leave Mr. Lewis as your attorney unless you choose to represent yourself or hire someone else. I'm going to give you 2 weeks to determine what you're going to do. You can go back.
This is where everything finally breaks down. The judge, who's been way too patient, finally hits his boiling point. Janetta is still objecting, still citing fake legal doctrines, still trying to override basic procedure. With buzzwords, the judge drops the line of the day. Just because you say respectfully doesn't mean it's not disrespectful. Boom. He's no longer correcting legal theory, is correcting kindergarten behavior. She gets one last shot. Get your own lawyer or represent yourself. But fantasy law. That show's being cancelled. If courtroom delusion was a defense, she'd be walking free by.
You already said that, and that's overruled. Go back with
Mission: dismantle the legal system using nothing but internet conspiracies and stubborn denial. But here's the truth: no fake legal theory, no invisible attorney, and no sovereign soundbite is going to pause the law. The judge gave her time, space, and options. She chose chaos. And now she's leaving with nothing but confusion, a court-appointed lawyer she doesn't want, and absolutely no progress on her case. This isn't the system failing her. This is self-sabotage in real time. This isn't injustice. It's the saga of Janetta Pugh, courtroom rebel. With a cause no one understands, she didn't just fight the charges, she fought the court, the lawyer, the paperwork, and even the definition of reality. This wasn't a defense strategy. It was a TikTok conspiracy video gone live. The courtroom doesn't play pretend. And Janetta, she just learned that the hard way. Ever wonder what happens when fantasy meets felony?